Hey guys, EC Network here, coming at you with another video. Recently at the Annoy Animation Festival, Cartoon Network Studios, Warner Brothers Animation, and Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe showed off a lot of teasers and little screenshots of what they've been working on over at the newly found Warner Brothers Discovery, and there's a lot coming in the animation space over at Warner Brothers Discovery, such as Adventure Time Fiona and Cake. They had a sneak peek of Batman Cape Crusader, a preview of Looney Tunes Bubble Brains, a Harley Quinn spinoff, Craig the Creek the movie, a Bat Family series, a Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends preschool series with Blue being in CGI, Jessica's Big Little World, the heroic quest of the valiant Prince Ivanhoe, a stop motion project featuring Taz, DC, Beast Boy, Lone Wolf, Tiny Toons University, Invincible Fight Girl, My Adventures with Superman, Gremlins Secret of the Mogwai, Velma Season 2, DC Creature Commanders by James Gunn, Craig the Creek the movie, as I said before, and last but not least, Merry Little Batman. And that's a lot I just said, and that's all coming from regular capital, so huge shout out to them. But the one show or the one movie or whatever this is that I wanted to talk about, and the reason I'm making this video, is The Amazing World of Gumball Season 7 got a sneak peek at this festival, and I'm just really kind of confused and scratching my head at the whole Gumball situation, because as we all know, as I kind of teased a little bit earlier, there is a Gumball movie that was in development. It was happening. We had confirmation from both the creator, Ben Beaucloet, who I always say your name wrong and I am sorry for that, and we also had confirmation from Cartoon Network that this movie was happening. Then all of a sudden the report came out, what, a year and a half ago at this point, saying that the movie was being shopped around because it was canceled over at HBO Max at the time, and we haven't really heard anything since then. We haven't heard any updates on it being sold or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, a few months ago, we had a LinkedIn posting. Someone who works at Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe updated their LinkedIn saying that, hey, we're currently developing Season 7 of The Amazing World of Gumball, and I made a video when that happened saying, what is going on with Gumball? Because not only the movie was in development, but we also had the announcement that a sequel series was coming after the movie, and presumably whatever happened in the movie was going to change the Gumball landscape, change the Gumball world, and that was going to lead into this sequel show. And now all of a sudden we have the confirmation coming out of this festival that a preview for Season 7 was shown. I'm just at a loss for words, honestly, just complete and utterly confused with what is happening with the Gumball right now, what the current state of this show is, because like I said before, there was a movie coming that was supposed to be the end of the series. Then all of a sudden we hear that they're making a sequel show and the franchise is going to continue outside of the movie and the original series. Then all of a sudden we see that Season 7's in development, and now we don't know what's happening outside of that. I remember at the time I saw some people speculating in the comment section of my video that, hey, Season 7 might just be the project name for the sequel show, because that's what they did with, I believe, Steven Universe Future. Steven Universe Future internally was regarded as or referred to as Steven Universe Season 6, and while that may have been the case at the time, if they're calling it Season 7 at this festival, then that probably means it's Season 7 of the show, which is just absolutely insane to even say, because Gumball Season 6 ended all the way back in 2019 in the summer. I believe it was July of 2019. Now we're in June of 2023. It's been almost 4 years since that show ended, and what are we going to be in, the summer of 2024, 5 years later, and now we're getting a Season 7 of the show? That might be one of the longest hiatus periods in the history of hiatus periods, and if you guys watched my recent Primal video or have heard me speak in the past on long hiatus periods, I am not a fan of them. I complain if it's more than a year between seasons, and we're going to have potentially a 5-year gap between Season 6 and Season 7 of Gumball. That is just absolutely absurd to me. Where all this kind of gets back to me, and all of this kind of it just shows you the miscommunication or dysfunction over at Warner Brothers Discovery and even Warner Media at the time. I just feel like a statement just from someone over at the company, presumably it would be Michael Olin since he is the president of Cartoon Network, but just anybody to come out and put out a statement saying, hey, Gumball Season 7 is happening, we're not doing the sequel series anymore, and the movie is or isn't happening. Like, that's all we need right now. There is so much confusion regarding this franchise, and the crazy thing to me, it is one of Cartoon Network's premier franchises right now. What do they play on Cartoon Network today? Most of the schedule is made up of Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball. Those are their two premier franchises right now. I just can't comprehend how an episode of the series, a new episode, hasn't premiered since 2019. We were told we're getting a movie. That movie was then being reportedly shopped around, and if it doesn't get sold, it's going to be canceled. We were getting a sequel series, which we don't know what's happening with that, and then all of a sudden now we're hearing rumblings of a Season 7 being in development. Like, what is it? Which are we getting? Are we getting all three of those things? Are we getting two of them, one of them, none of them? Like, what is happening here? It just goes back to the lack of communication with Warner Brothers Discovery, and even before that, Warner Media. I made countless videos when this channel started back in 2017 saying that Warner Media, Cartoon Network, needed to communicate with their fans because we were constantly being left in the dark on so many different series on when were the new episodes premiering, or when is this show coming, or is this show canceled. Like, for example, we still have not gotten an announcement to say that Elliot from Earth and Mao Mao Heroes of Pure Heart were canceled. We have not been told that yet. Presumably they've been canceled. Mao Mao Heroes of Pure Heart season 100 years ago, and Elliot from Earth premiered the last episode in 2020. They're not coming back. They're never coming back. Those shows have been canceled, but hey, it'd be nice for someone at the network to say that. Like, do I really have to make a video on YouTube speculating on what's the fate of these series as opposed to you just coming out and saying they're no longer in production? Like, is that much to ask? I don't think so. And so this whole Gumball situation, like I said, it really just goes back to the lack of communication from Warner Brothers Discovery and from Cartoon Network. And it's not even, like, as much as people hate on Warner Brothers Discovery and David Zaslav, this isn't even just his doing. Like, this has been happening before the whole merger happened. When it was Warner Media, this was happening. It's just, I just don't get it. It's just, like I said, the lack of communication. This is how you lose fans, not how you gain fans. So yeah, like I said before, it looks like the Amazing World of Gumball season 7 is indeed happening. If I had to guess, I'd assume that the sequel series has been scrapped in favor of just continuing the show. As to the fate of the movie, I could see it going one of two ways. Either the movie is still happening and either they sold it to someone else, or it's just going to be a Cartoon Network / Max movie, and then that will lead into season 7, and this will kind of be like a breaking point. And you know, the explanation as to why it's taking so long for season 7 is because, oh, this whole movie happens in between the two of them. Or the movie is being adapted into season 7, and that's why we're getting a 7th season of this show, because the movie's not happening. They're just adapting the ideas from the movie, adapting the plots from the movie into a 7th season of the show. But like I said, that's all speculation because Warner Brothers Discovery and Cartoon Network just doesn't want to tell us what's going on with Gumball. And in all honesty, I think the fans deserve to know, since, you know, they haven't seen an episode of the show since the summer of 2019. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about this whole situation? The fact that now season 7 looks like it's happening, and the fate of the movie and the sequel series is now up in the air once again. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.